Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimensions. This movie was released in April 23rd in 2016 and made about $7.5 million at box office. I couldn't find the budget. Who knows if it's technically a success or not in terms of box office profit. And I would like to go over the voice actors and any other words that I may know them from real quick. Agami is played by Kento Hayashara, and in the dub, he's played by Daniel J. Edwards, who also played Ka Ninja and Zexo Dennis, Hikage, Koruto, and Teppai in Arc 5, Gon Revolver and Brains. Lastly, Sarah is played by Kena Hasawa, who plays the worst quintuplet in quintessential quintuplets, Ida and Boruto, Chiaki and Danganronpa, Mitsui and Demon Slayer, and Kaede and Angel Beats. In the dub, she's played by Lori Himaz, who plays Lily in Pokemon, and Sakura in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Now on to the review. So, Kaiba has a spaceship with an elevator, which I'm sure that was a construction nightmare, in shape of a Kaiba Corp logo. Gotta love the man, he has ambitions. Kaiba wants to find the puzzle. So I should also mention too, that this movie is more a part of a manga timeline than the anime timeline. I read the manga and I get bit, so some things might be iffy for me, but there's still, we get to it, there's still issues with that, but again, we get to that when we get to that. It's good to see that the gang still has that magic, like gang magic after all those years, so I do really appreciate that. That's something I really appreciate this film does, is like, both sub and dub, we're back into it. Like, really. Because that was something I was worried about, especially with dub, because new wires and stuff like that, but I wouldn't feel the same. But, it's, again, we're back. It's like riding a bike. Because of Go Magnet, he goes out flaunting all over him. Taylor still plans to go overseas for diamond. Tristan's going to take over his father's factory. Joey wants to become a pro duelist, but you would think placing in Duelist Kingdom and Battle City would kind of be that going ticket to becoming a pro duelist, because who else could say they play second and fourth in like two major tournaments like that? I'm just saying, that should be the silver platter to Port Hood. Yuki wants to create a new game as the German Game Festival. Maybe he meet Carlo for the Captive Coast there. When my reviews like it be full of Nancy Drew references now, aren't they? Since we played all the games on stream. Just gotta connect them all. It's all connected. There's a student that the game is having trouble, like, remembering the name Agami. Really giving off honest season 4 of GX vibes, though. Yuki is missing a Tim. Agami's being bullied by Squad, but Squad tells Agami to meet him up later after Joey shows up. The gang is having trouble remembering details about Agami, like anything at all. It's just, it's Agami! How long has he been going to school with us? Who knows? Agami meets up with Squad and uses a cube that causes, like, people to show up. Images, illusions, different dimensional people, wherever they truly are. The cube makes the bullies disappear. And Tim is facing a Kaiba. Kaiba says he brought Tim back and has a new duel dex, because, of course. They start with 8,000 life points, just because. Kaiba uses polymerization to fuse 3 Blue Eyes to summon Neo, Blue Eyes, Ultimate Dragon, etc. Now, this is 100% in retrospective. Retrospective is, 2020. And, watching this twice, because watch both sub and dub, I feel like this is trying to sell me something. Now, you might argue, it's all of Yu-Gi-Oh! They all have cards that are in sets that they try to sell even now with no, not master do, but the standard rules for Yu-Gi-Oh! As an anime, they say, oh look, it's evil heroes from Supreme King, new ones from that, the Kano Force, etc. This feels like I'm being sold something, because they mentioned Duel Links later in this movie, a little bit later. And that came out later the same year from this released in Japan, and Duel Links released a little before this released in English. So, there's that. And also, the fact that the movie pack got released multiple times in 3 different versions of Ultra Whale, Secret Whale, and Gold Whale, because they retrain basically everything, and things that didn't get retrained, Dark Magician Go, and Blue Eyes got new alternate art. So I think the only, like, there's a few cards that show up that you see Soggy the Dark Clown, Low of D in Kaiba's hand, and Joey showing off Wet Eyes of the only cards that don't get, like, retrained, so, like, alternate arts. But, like, I expect new cards, like, you know, Pyramid of Light had new cards in it, but it's not unexpected. I don't expect them to have nothing new, but it feels like they retrained everything. Like, it feels like I'm being sold something. Again, that's retrospective how much they released for movie pack, and how many different versions of a movie pack there is. It just feels in retrospective that it's trying to sell me something. I didn't feel that when I watched this in the movie fields. So, take that as you will. Take that as you will. But I love the new Blue Eyes support in this movie, by the way. The Alternative Dragon, love you to death. Chaos Max, also love you to death. But besides the point, Dan plays Dark Magic Veil by paying 1,000 life points to summon Dark Magician. Tim plays 1,000 knives to try to destroy Neo Ultimate Dragon, but Kaiba uses Dark Sacrifice by saying Soggy the Dark Clown from deck to grave he can negate 1,000 knives. And Tim sets 2 cards. Neo Ultimate Dragon can attack 3 times. Neo Ultimate Dragon attacks Dark Magician, but Tim uses Time Change to negate Dark Magician. And Neo Ultimate Dragon's destruction by battle for 2 turns if it don't count being on the field. Here's another problem with this movie. Sometimes the duel action is very hard to follow. Like, this is the most struggling I've had following a duel so far in this, like, multiple series of anything we have done, besides maybe season 0. I don't think I even struggle with that so much. Oh, like, Dewey's Kingdom, like, they might say random bullshit, but, like, I follow the random bullshit. Like, fast forward a tiny bit, Dark Magician gets free from the time chain before Ultimate, or, like, Neo Ultimate Dragon does. But, like, why? That makes no sense. Just, besides to make it, like, more exciting. Because they both get chained up at the same time instead of 2 turns for each. And then Kaiba makes a head comment, oh, it's like the non-the field. Now realizing that it's like he meant that literally, but the trio is not on the field. That's just like one example. There's a few times that's kind of hard to follow. But yes, this is definitely the hardest duel action that's hard to follow, at least for me. So far, Kaiba sets the card. Tim summons Celtic Guardian and Celtic God of Noble Arms. Too bad it's not a corpse spell. You can search that off of Noble Knights then. But alas, it's not. They both attack directly. Kaiba summons Kaiser Voswale and it destroys Celtic Guardian. Kaiba sets one. Time Change stops effect for Dark Magician only. Tim plans Magical Dimension to tribute Celtic God of Noble Arms to summon Dark Magician and destroy Kaiser Voswale. But 2 magicians attack directly, but Kaiba uses Induce Explosion to free Neo Ultimate Dragon. The Ultimate Dragon attacks, but Tim uses the trap monster Dimensional Reflector by tripping his 2 magicians. Dimensional Reflector gains Neo Ultimate Dragon's attack, and that amount gets sent back to Kaiba as damage. But Kaiba uses a Hence counter to negate the damage and have that amount added to Neo Ultimate Dragon's attack points. Neo Ultimate Dragon attacks the game. It was just a simulation. They Pyramid a light of you, Dark Side of Dimension, which I give is supposed to catch the viewer's attention, but I kind of appreciate how, at least in Pyramid of Light, it was quick and snappy. And this is a bit more drawn out, but like, also, another problem with this movie for me, the duels are not the best. Especially the dimensional duels we get to in a second, which are very uninteresting to watch if you ask me. But for the regular duels, which there are 2 of in this movie, are the best, but they're really not that great too. And yeah, I was just not feeling this. Again, Pyramid of Light, the simulation wasn't that exciting show, but it was quick. This, I feel like it dragged for what it was. They say Duel Links was like a part of like simulation, like that's what it's called, like to link up your brain with your dude dicks and like it's all connected. And you could create simulations using your mind. And that's how a 10 was created, this whole simulation in like a church building. Kaiba says he really wants to be a 10 for real. Mokuba says that the found the puzzle, the gang learned that Squad and his gang are missing. People have gone missing all over the world. Kaiba announces his new duodix. Agami knows about the Millennium Islands, and there is like a prophecy talking about dimensions being open after the Pharaoh goes to the afterlife, but we're close up again if the Pharaoh were to return. Agami is connected to Shari, who told him to leave his world to go to the new one, but doesn't want to because there's someone in New Domino City that Agami wants to stop the evil ways to, which assumes into Yuki and Bakura what Pharaoh said. Kaiba is in Egypt. Kaiba wants to rebuild the puzzle. Agami shows himself and Cube's one of Kaiba's guards. But Cube can teleport people to a different dimension, which is created by Agami and his friends as like collective awareness. So basically, like, the Cube kind of like slowly awaits you, receivers, as you like not be a part of the collective awareness of people in your own little bubble, if that makes sense. Kaiba's new duodix can beat the power of the Cube by amplifying his ego. Who said that Kaiba's greatest strength was his mind or money? It's just his pure fucking ego. Gotta love him, man. Agami wants to do Kaiba for like digging up the puzzle. This duel would take place between dimensions. And then it's like you can dimension summon, which you can summon with no cards, and the stats are chosen via willpower, but you can't go beyond the cards like actual stats. Which is kind of, this is silly, because the willpower, that doesn't play an effect. Like, you don't see people's willpower wavering or anything like that. So you might as well just say, you can summon with no cards, which is not that interesting. It's a bit pointless, I feel like. Crystal Dragon is summoned by Kaiba and sets 2 cards. Instead of battle damage, you would take damage equal to the attack or defense of your monster with whichever position that they're in. Agami summons Bajama, the cubic seed, and sets form. Kaiba summons another Crystal Dragon. When the Crystal Dragon attacks, the Bahama goes into a different dimension, causing the attacking Crystal Dragon to not attack anymore or use his effect, that is called de-dimensioned. Agami uses Cubic Ascension to summon another Vajama. And the same thing happened to the old Crystal Dragon. Kaiba uses Dragon Orb to give the Crystal Dragons to use their effects to get 2 blue eyes from deck to hand after the battle. Kaiba summons Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Alternative Dragon attacks directly, but Agami uses Cubic with both, which negates the attack. Also causes a full Vajama to be summoned, but in return, Kaiba summons his Blue Eyes, his 2 Blue Eyes from hand. And plus Alternative and the 2 blue eyes get D-dimension. Kaiba sets the card. Agami attributes a Vanjama to summon Dark Gonex, the Cubic Beast. The Cubic Beast monsters gain 1,000 attack points per seed that they are used to summon. Gonex destroys one of the blue eyes. Gonex deforms, and 2 Vajamas reform to make Blade Godara, the Cubic Beast. Godara destroys the rest of the blue eyes. Photons the Chum. Godara deforms, and 3 Vajamas reform to make Buster Gundrill, the Cubic Behemoth. The Crystal Dragons are destroyed by Gundrill, and Kaiba takes damage equal to the attack. Gundrill attacks directly, but Kaiba uses Counter Gate to negate the attack and draw one. If it is a monster, he can summon it, but Agami uses Cubic Madala to bring back the undimensioned monsters to Kaiba's side of the field that were just destroyed. Kaiba summons Obelix by triggering 3 monsters. Due to him being able to read Pharaoh's memories, he was able to summon Obelix, because they were apparently taken with the Pharaoh into the afterlife. While Kaiba does use his Obelix effect by triggering 2 monsters and inflicts effect damage equal to his attack, but duel ends because Mokuba is leaving with the puzzles, and Agami is like, nope, and took 2 of the puzzle pieces. And Kaiba leaves as well, because he's like, I got my puzzle, because the puzzle was under high security and took time to get desecurialized. The wing, the Millennium Wing, is glowing and is found by Manny, Agami's friend. The gang is doing graduation practice, which warms my heart. Agami and his friends are bound to this dimension if the Pharaoh comes back, so it's time to waste Yuki. You gotta get the Pharaoh's vessel out of it. Agami gives one of the puzzle pieces to Sarah. Another dimensional Hopper have the power of Prana. Well, how Prana explains a bit different between sub and dub. For the sub I watched, it sounded like Prana was for people per se, but and but dub Piranha is for power. So I'm just gonna call them for people of Piranha, so either way, it fits. Either way, it fits. So is also Agame's sister. Agame is hanging out with the gang and agrees to have a dude tournament at Yugi's house. Kaiba is planning to host the tournament at Kabbalah. It's not really a tournament, it's more of a freeway. Kaiba is using a computer to reveal the puzzle, and it's in space to make it easier because of COGs. Yugi gets visited by Sarah, who reveals she knows about Tam and Shari. The people of Piranha carry out Shari's will. Sarah says that Yugi is like one of the people that have a Piranha and gives Yugi the piece of the puzzle, which him being possible to have the power of a Piranha doesn't come up. But Dub doesn't even mention it. That's how not plot relevant it really is to keep bringing it up. And it means jack shit. Because remembering his time in Egypt before he moved to Japan thanks to Agame drags Bako and Joey into a different dimension, while it brings Joey back to the real world where no one notices him but cutting off him from the collective awareness. Joey's being erased due to not being part of the collective awareness. In Flashback Land, Joey taught the children of the Piranha about the circle of fear and how that would don't want to be feared that leads to distraction, hatred, all that wonderful stuff. Because Dad found the Millennium Wing and tries to buy it off of Shari, but Shari says no. Because Dad tries to wear the wing, but it not kills him, because he looks pretty dead to me. And the dog kind of implies like he dies. And the reason why it not kills him is because he's not the correct owner. If it kills, no matter what, this is a retcon, because both manga and anime, because Dad bothers from a merchant on the streets of Egypt. Because Dad never met Charlie unless Charlie was secretly the merchant, like how the genie is secretly the merchant in Aladdin. Or if you watch the twisted version, Aladdin was secretly the merchant the whole time. Besides the point, this is a retcon in itself. So, because Dad being alive or dead, no matter what, if he's alive, great, but that's in continuity, but if he dies, it's another retcon upon a retcon scene. So, take that as you will. When Bakura picked it up, Mr. Zoc showed up and killed Shari, which Shari does mention that, Yami Bakura did, do the girl kill him. I believe his tone was destroy his body, which is not what happened, but, close enough. And then Shari gave Agami the cube before he dies. In the present day, Bakura feels bad for what happened, and we really don't touch upon this. Agami is, knows the wing is evil, because Shari says 3 items are evil, 3 of the Millennium items are good, and the puzzle is neutral. And the wing falls on the evil side for obvious reasons, because again, it has the big demon with a dragon dick in it. So, it's evil. Very evil. So, Agami knows this, right? But he's placing the blame on Bakura because he has the face, Very understandable that he is gunning her on Bakura, but Bakura's trying to explain, that's the wing. But Agami's having none of that. And then it's kind of the end of a discussion. There's no conclusion to this, really. Besides at the end, when it's all smiles and everyone's happy. But, I would love to have more focus on Bakura and Agami instead of Yugi and Agami. I'm sorry, one is way more interesting than the other. There's only one reason Yugi's in the story, I feel like. And it's because of Tim. And we get to that when we get to that. But it feels to me when I'm watching, ironically, Yugi's the least interesting character in this movie that has a big part in it. Kaiba's going through the process of grief, which, again, based on manga continuity, Kaiba wasn't part of a Millennium War arc, Pharaoh's memories, he wasn't there. So, it makes sense that he's going through grief. But also, he's more accepting of magic and stuff like that. I'm ignoring that. I'll just say he figured it out. He got rid of his magic bigotry and accepts all magic now. But, again, the main points, Yugi's interesting, but he has all this screen time, and I'm just why? I hate to say why, but like I would have liked Bakoa to have more interaction with Agami. Because Manny comes along, possessed by the wing, and he and Bakoa disappear. And that's it for like basically Bakoa. And then like the gang goes looking for Joey. Agami like shows himself to the gang, attempts his Joey from being a waste and brings him to the real world. Agami leaves after being shocked by Joey's back. Agami gets captured by Kaiba and is being questioned by about the two missing puzzle pieces. Kaiba had Yugioh in his tournament to fight for his piece of the puzzle, and Agami is also being to go into the tournament for the same reason, because Kaiba really wants to do a 10. Only Kaiba would make people feel for their lives to show off a new Dudex and the new Soul Vision hologram. Yugi wants to fight Agami first for Bakoa's sake, because he's wherever he is. Because Agami didn't do that to Bakoa, it was the wing. But besides the point. And also, why is the wing still evil? Is it like evil residue from Zoke? Because Zoke is gone. Zoke was defeated, gone, banished, whatever. So like, how is the wing still evil? I don't know. Well, the dub throws a complete monkey wrench in it, because the dub implies that Zoke is still in the wing, but that doesn't make sense. So, don't know. Maybe, I think maybe the villagers of Anna. I butchered that. Sorry, it's been a bit since I heard pronunciation of Bandit King Bakoa's village. Anna? Close enough. But no, they went away due to Atem's dad. And then maybe he's banning King Bakoa still in Ville somewhere? I don't know. But but that doesn't make sense also, because this will prove that he was still ever in the wing, really, truly. Because it's probably just all Zoke. So, the wing, maybe Zoke residue, I don't know. But, anyways, besides the point. Yugi versus Agami is going to be a dimension duel. Yugi summons Sentry's Soldier of Stone and Setsu. Agami summons Vahama, the Cubic Seed, and uses it to summon Guerna, the Guile, the Cubic King. Cubic King monsters gain 800 attack for each Vahama used to summon it. Guerna does 800 points of effect damage. Agami plays Cubic Kama to add more, 2 more Vahamas to Guerna's attack points. So 1600 more attack. Guerna destroys Sentry's Soldier of Stone. Yugi uses Dig of Destiny to draw a card since he took damage. After a battle, Cubic King monsters return to the deck and the Bahamas return to the field, and adds a new king to hand. Volcanic Dragonair, the Cubic King, is summoned by Agami, which attacks and does effect damage. And we do the whole return to the deck and add to the hand effect again. Agami summons Indoa, Doomvolt, the Cubic Emperor, and it does effect damage. Endora attacks, but by discarding a monster, Yugi activates Warrior's Devotion to lower Endora's attack by the monster's attack that he discards. In this case, the Silent Swordsman's 2300 attack. And I kind of hate too how the movie and Yugi's two dudes go, oh my god, can Yugi win without a Tim? But it's like, Yugi beat Atem, Yugi beat Zoke, Yami Bakoa, whatever you want to call him. But Yugi has proven his worth at this point, so I feel like it's a bit disrespectful to Yugi's character to play up the whole oh, can Yugi beat these opponents without his little buddy Atem? I hate that so much. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't feel good. Yugi summons Low Gaia, the Fierce Knight. Gaia destroys Endora, but it goes back to the deck and the Bahamas return. Agami sends Cubic Kama to the graveyard to have Yugi's life points. Yugi sets 3 cards. Yugi turns down Agami's offer to come to the new dimension with him. Agami and the Prana children were in a horrible household situation till Shari shows up, abusive, I guess, I highly doubt dad. I guess orphanage. Let's go with orphanage. Was having the children beg for money, and if they don't get enough money from begging, no. It's horrible situation. But I have so many questions about what Shari making the children prana and giving them powers, and what's the point of prana? Besides, like, maybe giving, like, children that have, like, dealt with abuse and horrible situations for promise of going to, like, a better place for the rest of their lives. Maybe. But also, like, why would that hinge on the Pharaoh's return besides prophecy nonsense? I'm thinking probably way too hard about this. It's not gonna fit. It's just not gonna fit, no matter how much I think about it. And maybe I should keep that more in mind, but it does. I question for Prana. Like, I understand Agami's goals is to prevent him from losing his powers and get basically revenge of Piccolo. I get that. His motivations I get. But, like, why not go to the different dimension before? Well, Agami says he wants to stay behind, but why doesn't everyone else go? Because there's multiple children on Prana. Unless they all have to go together. I mean, I don't understand about someone would stay back from Agami, but, like, why don't the West go? And unless, again, it's all or nothing situation, I'm not sure. Unless, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm thinking way too hard about this. I probably am. But anyways, Adoa is summoning back. Gaara gains attack since Adoa does. Agami uses Cupid Wave to double Adoa's attack and half Gaara's attack. Adoa attacks, but Yugi uses Dimensional Sphinx to cause damage to Agami equal to the difference between Gaara and Adoa's attack if Adoa has more than double Gaara's attack. Yugi uses Dimensional Guardian to stop Gaara from being destroyed. Yugi uses Dimensional Mirage to make Adoa attack again, causing a loop. This caused Yugi to win the duel. And Yugi says that he believes in the world's future and no need to, like, go to a different dimension, all that stuff. We get Joey Shin. Piccolo's back. Again, they really don't touch on Piccolo at all after this, which is disappointing. Kaiba versus Yugi is next. Kaiba says Yugi is an attempt. Yugi says that attempt is gone. Yugi summons March Macaroon in sets 2. Kaiba summons a soft wyvern and destroys Macaroon, but it causes it to summon 2 more copies of itself. A soft wyvern effect summons Blue Eyes. Kaiba uses Dragon Defying Spirit to have Blue Eyes attack an extra time for each monster on Yugi's field, so 2 extra attacks. The March Macaroons are destroyed and Yugi takes a direct attack. Yugi uses Dark Horizon because he took damage to summon Dark Magician. Kaiba sets the card. Yugi sets the card. Blue Eyes attacks, but Yugi uses the trap monster Metamorphosis, and Dark Magician equips it to the trap monster, and it ends the attack. Yugi switches Metamorphosis to attack, it destroys Blue Eyes, and switches it back to defense. Kaiba uses Chaos Foam to ritual summon Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Chaos Max Dragon destroys Metamorphosis and Dark Magician, and it does piercing damage. Yugi summons Alpha Magician Go and sets a card. Chaos Max Dragon attacks, but that triggers Alpha Magician Go to half Chaos Max Dragon's attack. It summons Lemon Magician Go. Chaos Max Dragon has to attack Lemon. That causes Lemon Go to summon Dark Magician Go and half Chaos Max Dragon's attack, and Chaos Max Dragon has to attack Dark Magician Go. Dark Magician Go destroys Chaos Max. Kaiba summons Deep Eyes White Dragon, which does effect damage 600 points for each dragon in the grave and gains Chaos Max's attack. Deep Eyes destroys Lemon Magician Go, and Yugi uses Magician's Protection to make the damage he would take be cut in half. Kaiba sets the card. Yugi gives Kaiba a spell to activate Magical Contractor to get a monster from the deck to hand and then summon it, so the 2 magicians get tribute to summon Ghidorah X, the Dragon of Demolition. Ghidorah destroys all monsters besides itself, and Kaiba gets to take damage from one of his monsters with the highest attack, which is Deep Eyes. But when Deep Eyes gets destroyed, he gets to destroy a monster on the field, so Ghidorah gets destroyed as well. Yugi completes the puzzle to show that Tem is in Bill. Then Agami gets possessed by the wing, because of course. Kaiba uses high speed art by saying a spell from hand to use the spell in a quick play manner, so in this case, Monster Reborn to bring back Deep Eyes. Yugi uses Fire and Gears to banish all monsters from both graves to bring back Dark Magician, so Deep Eyes can't come back. Dark Magician attacks directly for maybe game, because it slows down to 100 life points on Kaiba, and Kaiba smokes, so maybe it wasn't game, who knows. But Agami shows back up as a demon, interrupting the duel. Peeba being stepped up sucked up in a dark dimension, Agami wants to drag everything into the dark dimension. So it caused the cube for 8th millennium. I don't like that. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. Like, when was this made? How was this made? Because it seems like after the 7th, we're not gonna make any more arms. Too much death. Too much death. But, whatever. One drop of hatred wounds the dimension that the people of Puana were hoping to go to, so Agami Vendetta is corrupting things. Now it's Yuki and Kaiba versus Agami. Agami summons Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Load, and sets 2. Everyone took effect damage. Each time you take damage, particles of darkness eat away at you. Lovely. Kaiba summons Pandemic Dragon. Ooh. Maybe Kaiba predicted for Pandemic. And uses his life points to lower Nova's attack. And then it gets destroyed thanks to Pandemic Dragon's effect. Nova isn't affected by effects with monsters with less attack than it. Kaiba sets 1. Yuki summons Silver Gadget, which summons Gold Gadget. Yuki sets 2. Nova attacks, but Yuki uses the Monster Trap, Metal Hold, the moving blockade, and using the gadget to boost his attack to 3200. Metal attacks, but Agami uses Cubic Defense to negate attack and summon 2 more Novas. And Nova destroys Pandemic Dragon, which lowers Metal Hold's attack thanks to Pandemic Dragon's effect. Thanks Kaiba for fucking that up. And Nova destroys Metal Hold along with the gadgets. Yugi uses Spiritual Swords of Living Light to negate the direct attack by paying 2000 life points. Agami uses Unification of Cubic Loads to fuse the 3 Novas to summon Crimson Nova Trinity the Dark Cubic Load. Kaiba uses the Trap Monster Crystal Avatar, which gets destroyed by Nova, causing Agami to lose 1000 life points, but Kaiba loses the Doom. Kaiba says they need a 10. Yugi sends Cleo Kuriboh from hand to grave to negate Nova's effect damage. Nova attacks directly. Yuki couldn't continue to do, but a 10 shows up and saves him. Motherfucking day with Mahad.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
I hate this. I truly hate this. A 10 should be nowhere near this movie. Besides the end. When Kaiba sends himself, to the dimension of memories. But, yeah, no. I hate this. Because Yugi proved himself to be able to stand on his 2 feet at the end of Doom Monsters. And guess who saves the day? It's not Yugi. It's a 10. And it literally feels like the only purpose Yugi has in the story is so a 10 can step in and save the day. I hate that. But I hate that so much. It feels like it spits in the face of the original ending of Doom Monsters for the sake of, we gotta get a 10-man here. We gotta sell merchandise. That's how it feels like. And that's how I felt when I watched this movie. See, that's the merchandising part that I did feel. Not so much for cards or duelings or anything like that. But this was something I felt watching this for the first time with feel in 2016. Agami disappears, everyone is back. Even Agami, he comes back a second later, undemonized. Yugi and Tem says goodbye again. The children of Prana are bound to this dimension. The gang graduate. Taylor's going to America. And Kaiba sends himself to the world of the afterlife to do a 10. Now, the Pyramid of Light movie was boring. It was beyond boring. This has some good. I like seeing the gang again. I like seeing Kaiba. But no matter how I look at the story makes no sense to me. In terms of trying to fit it with the continuity of what I remember of the manga and the anime. None of it truly makes sense. And I get it was a story that was wanted to be told. I get that, I understand that. But Agami has a drop of, he has an outline of an interesting character, but I don't feel like it was fully realized. I feel like if he spent more interaction with Bakoa than he did, we could have maybe got somewhere. And explain, more of, what's the purpose of a piranha. No, I'm not really explaining the purpose of a piranha, because, if there's some stuff that Agami did where it's unspoken that he did, and that deepened his character, making people disappear that he thought was bad because of what happened to Shari. That was unspoken, and it makes sense. But, again, I've had a little more depth on Agami's part, and he could have easily be, top Yugioh villain for me. But, I feel like he was missing that little extra. And then, I'm not a fan of Vaduz in this. Most of them are no results. Just because the plot demands, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool for like Kaiba and Agami to do? Oh, but we can't have either one of them lose, so no result. Or it would be cool for like Kaiba and Yugi to do, but we can't have either one of them lose, no result. Oh, stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, well, yeah. And like I would prefer maybe like 2 or 3 duels in this movie, make the duels a little longer, more interesting, and instead of these like short duels that aren't very interesting and feel like, would this be cool, but we can't have like a good a result of something in the case of Yugi versus Agami. Something that, oh well, we gotta have the main character do the villain of the movie. Which I don't feel like Yugi really had to do Agami, even though he did promise Sarah to do Agami for his sake and stuff like that. Like, Yugi didn't feel essential to this movie, and it feels like his essentialness was just because he was the main character of the show. And while that he should be a part of the story. So, like, with all that, like, being involved and stuff like that, I was debating whether to put this higher or lower on the scaling of Pyramid of the Light. But I think this edges it out a bit. So I would give Dog South Dimension a 6 out of 10. And let's go over some dub changes real quick before I end with the review. Wayne Grayson's grandpa threw me through a loop due to the old actor Maddie Bustestein unfortunately passing away in 2008. Because access what the fan goes like, Dub continues to hate silence. The dub plays up the real memories about Agami a little bit more.
Scott, he's history!
No, history is remembered.
It's a good line. They explain dueling, what's going on with Duel's List, and the dub, like how Neo Ultimate Dragon can attack twice. But Hail and Water Ball line.
Even his perfectly coiffed hair. In fact, that part is what took the longest. Fire whoever designed that bottle. Kaiba Corp's products shouldn't bend that easily.
They're not using the collective awareness explanation for the cube at all. It's just the power of Piranha. They choose not to explain why Kaiba could summon Obelix. The Piranha can remake the world into a peaceful world instead of going to a peaceful dimension. There's zero mention of Yugi being one with Piranha. The fruit line.
Fight me with fruit? Don't mock me!
The dub implies Zoke is still in the wing, which is impossible. Shadow games, silence is key. I would prefer no music like the sub version did when Atem returns. And without all now being out of the way, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. It's been fun, it's been a blast, it's been a real fun blast. If you like the review, hit the thumbs up button. If you dislike the review, hit the thumbs down button. And subscribe for more 4 reviews. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.